Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Look, it is freezing out here. It's the beginning of November. A cold front just came through, and I just kind of got the feeling that, the holidays coming around, the wood-burning fireplace is just going off, and it really started reminding me of my home side of the field in Albuquerque, and that's the south side, South Valley, Southwest Heights, and all that stuff. So in today's video, guys, we're going to get into that. And bring your jackets because it's going to get a little chilly and a little fun. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eli, and over the course of the past couple of years, I've had the grand opportunity to be able to help out tons of people move in all around the area here in Albuquerque. And aside from doing these great videos, guys, I am also a licensed realtor here in the state of New Mexico, and I love to help you out with your real estate needs just as much as I love doing these videos. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot, write it down, do what you got to do. That way we can hop on a quick Zoom call and talk about all the different areas down here in Albuquerque, like the South Valley, Southwest Heights, the North Valley, the East Mountains, and all that. That way we can make a more informative decision to help you get down to Albuquerque a lot faster and a lot smoother. Man, it is cold out here. Man, like I tell everybody that I have the conversations with, early mornings here are just brutal when it comes to wintertime, November, December, even January and February still. So bring a light jacket. I got a nice little pullover right now, but I also got the little fleece lined pants, so maybe that's what's helping me stay a little warmer. But really, guys, getting into the brief history of the South Valley. The South Valley is comprised of 1/3 of the whole city of Albuquerque, which is a big span of the city, right? So in terms, you are going to have a lot more opportunity happening over there, and you are going to have a lot more areas to build. And that's what's going on right now, is a lot of the old farmers and ranchers are starting to sell off parts of their land in order for other developers to come in, build new residential areas and commercial retail spots. So providing a lot of opportunity. History-wise, back in the day, South Valley, Southwest Heights was composed of 7 villages, and it was like the old conquistadors, the old settlers, the ranchers, the farmers that lived close to the Rio Grande Valley. That really made that area what it is today. And a lot of that history and that spirit is still there. So it really gives you an essence of, the remnants of what Albuquerque used to be when it first started out, right? Big cattle companies, big farmlands, corn, all that stuff was down in those areas. And if we're going to talk about this area, I think we should talk about housing. So let's get into that. All right, guys, getting into the topic of conversation of housing, the housing situation over there, still pretty affordable, tons of options. You are going to have all the different mixed uses, townhomes, new builds, older residential homes in that area, especially if you're talking about like the Westgate, kind of like the Unser-Nadanal area. They started to develop a lot of new residential areas around that Westgate area. Back in the early 2000s, Richard Fuller came through and they started to build a bunch of newer style homes, Southwest style. So you are going to see a commonality in the homes over there. And then they started to move a little bit more west, closer to 118th Street in the late 2000s. And they started to build a lot more bigger homes, more multi-generational style homes, especially because they were building a lot more schools out there. Now they do have the Trisco Heritage Academy School District up close to 118th Street. And then closer to the south you get, you're in the Rio Grande District, and then you're in the South Valley Academy District as well. So really, affordability and housing and the way that it's all built is going to be catered to, the more family-oriented neighborhoods and all that stuff. You're going to have parks, all that stuff in that area. And school bell going off, you're going to hear a lot of that because you're just going to be so close to the schools. Now, as far as affordability, average price in the Southwest Heights, you're looking at about $270 and up. That's on average. And then more south you go, looking at it $370. So it's really about $100,000 difference, and it's very polarizing when you're moving to that side of town, because the more south you go, more acreage, more land, and more custom homes you're going to see. More west you go, closer to 118th Street, you're going to get the newer builds, which the newer builds right now are starting around the mid 300s. which isn't too bad considering that they're offering like granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, 9-foot ceilings, and all that stuff in their homes, which is great, right? Because a lot of the homes in that area, they're not going to be that you are going to have some older homes that were renovated that had the opportunity to be able to shine and compete with those other homes, especially in a tough market like it is right now, higher interest rates, and those new home builders offering so much incentives to the buyers that are coming to purchase the housing. Okay, so you're probably wondering what is there to be expected if you are thinking about moving to that side of town. Well, really, it's going to be just hodgepodge, and maybe that's a bad term, but not really a hodgepodge, but it feels like that sometimes because you're going to go immediately from residential, urban style community living to ranches, ranchos, and just that, type of style of living, because it really is that polarizing, really from one street to the other. You're going to run into, that whole master plan community kind of thing. And then you're also going to run into your neighbor having cows, horses, and all that stuff just right down the street from you. So you're going to want to think about, is this something that I can live with? Is this something that I can do? Because it really is going to be busier on that side of town, just because it is more residential. There is going to be a lot more families, a lot more people traveling to that side of town, especially with all the new development that's going on. And we really want to think about that if, we don't want to be caught in the middle of a bunch of traffic, kiddos playing everywhere, and just people just walking all along the neighborhoods, then we're going to have to rethink where we want to live. We might want to live on the east side where, there's just not a whole lot of people, property is a little bit more spread out. But really, guys, again, it's super polarizing, especially when it comes down to the amenities in the neighborhoods. Some neighborhoods have parks, sidewalks, and all that stuff. And of course, the more south you go, you're not going to get sidewalks. You're going to get dirt streets. So coming through like the winter season right now, some of those streets are going to be the last to get cleaned, especially if it snows. So you might get stuck in your neighborhood. Think about that, because it is going to be crucial when you have about an inch or two of snow in the driveway. And times like this, when the nighttime falls and it freezes everything, you're going to run into black ice, which is a big problem because, yes, it might not snow a lot here, but things freeze and it'll cause an issue just getting in and out of your driveway, in and out of your neighborhood, especially in the South Valley where a lot of those areas don't get cleaned up as fast as some of these other parts of the city do. So keep that in mind, that there is going to be a lot of activity. It's going to be more residential, and then it's going to be very polarizing. And, the benefit of the doubt is that it's up and coming. So with all those negative things, just kind of being there, just really thinking about them, they might change because of all the developers coming through, the development community, bring in new residential shopping areas or retail spots like Las Estancias. I mean, you got a movie theater there, the Hobby Lobby, the Ross, Chick-fil-A, the Planet Fitness, Tropical Smoothie, which I love. Gosh, Peanut Paradise, or chai, what is it called? The Chai Boost or whatever. My gosh, you can't go wrong with it. And then you are also going to have like the local shops like Jerry's Market. Oh my gosh. So there is a lot of things that you need to think about, especially if you are planning on moving to the south side of Albuquerque, because some areas, you're going to be dealing with old school living from time to time. Septic, well, and all that stuff, because of course, the more south you go, the less those amenities are there, which isn't a negative thing, right? Dealing with those things isn't going to mean, super hard or anything like that, or more costly. It's really just going to pretty much, even itself out from the other amenities that you're going to have. But you're going to have to think about that, right? What type of lifestyle do you want to live? And really, is it going to be a stepping stone to purchase your first house? Or, affordability and all those questions. And really, guys, the number popping up on the screen, again, it's my direct line. Feel free to call, text, email, because I am the one that answers. Me and my team need to hop on a quick call with you guys. That way we can straighten everything out for you. Make sure that you're making the right decisions as far as making the move down to the south side of Albuquerque, because whether you want to live on a farm or you want to live in a planned community that is affordable and it is nice with parks and stuff and nice schools, this is going to be an area that you're going to want to think about. But other than that, guys, it is freezing. The wind is coming through a lot of these buildings. And you might see me do a lot of these videos in downtown Albuquerque, and that's because my office is literally about 2 minutes from here. And just doing these videos in this area is a lot more efficient for me. And plus, I mean, how can you go wrong with all the people just kind of walking around and these beautiful buildings surrounding you? But today, they're causing me more stress than anything else, just because the wind chill down here is just freezing. I mean, look at my hand. It's all red and cracking. I'm going to have to just get inside before I catch hypothermia. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.